Go this quick! Give! Come on, guys, step up, guys, step up! Hey, Simon! Step up! Quick free! Hey! Not too easy.
In OBS audio, is there like a connection for mono and also stereo?
I don't see it. This is different from mono.
You mean your OBS is different?
It was fine beforehand, but we plugged in a second XLR.
I don't think it's your thing. I think it's. I think I'm getting like nothing is showing like any decibels at all. Even like when I tried to turn back on the computer. So this would be a lot easier if there wasn't like glaring sun.
Why don't you open it 10? Let's put the 10 up first over. Or
Come on, let's see it, let's done. Give a call. Hey, give a call to her. Step out! Step out! Simon! Walk across! Press! Go across! We have room! We have room! Go! Just gotta come to that ball faster, man. Hey, stop! Play down! Play down! Head on! Go, 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 go.
thing. I think it has to be on the 5.1. I think his mic is stereo.
It's not even that. I can't even get audio from the computer. So it's a bigger problem. Like something is muted. Like the whole thing is muted.
Hey, to see if the laptop has volume, right? Click, open up YouTube and just go on anything, right? See if there's a volume coming from the laptop, then we'll know if it's an OBS or laptop. Just to test the volume on the laptop, since you can't hear anything. So it's working then. Right? So that means that's OBS then, right?
It's in OBS for sure. I just can't figure out what the setting is. I've never had it like this.
Whether you can go mono or you can go 5.1 or something like that. I bet you there is. In the audio.
In audio, global audio devices, digital audio interface, I have Camlink 4. What it is it only captures audio that comes from your computer.
No. It has to capture. That's what.
Yo, man,
So that means you have to bring the camera down and go back to 5.1?
Well, the camera might, I mean, the computer should still have a mic that would pick up my voice right now, and it's not doing that. It only picks up its own self. So that means that I don't think it has to do with the camera.
Step out! Quick!
Right now, I'm talking into the computer, and I don't see any decibels. Talking to the mic.
Check 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Check 1 2. Check.
But like I said, when we had it plugged into 5.1, we had a little static, but still the volume was coming through, right?
Right.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Step out, guys, step out. Big foot, man! Liverpool! Step up! Hey! Yo! We too deep!
Can I just try my, can I bring my computer up for halftime? Because I don't know anything about it.
If that's the case, yeah. If you want to, you can do that. You can bring yours, no problem. And then we can connect with your camera or something like that.
Let me pull my laptop up.
They try to get water when it gets full of gold and enough.
Do you get a water break?
Yeah, there'll be a water break. I mean, it's over 8 degrees, yeah.
Alright.
Again!
Huh?
I'm gonna cut off my camera, right? It's yours, right?
I'm gonna do everything first before we do that. You know what I mean? I want to get logged into your account. You know, you already.
Oh, I see.
Otherwise,
Yo! Push up that!
alright, password is.
MHF, I'm gonna, in a long time because I have it on remember, right? So, MHF 0313
1319.
No, 03131964.
Too much time there, too much time on the ball!
64. Okay. Are you doing capital or lowercase? Alright, then try MHF 031364. That's Mary Henry Frank.
MHF 0313.
64. Wait, hold on. Is there a way to look at my computer and see how many dots in the login? Then I might have, did they ever call for capital? Like maybe a first letter, one capital?
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. M, capital M, HF.
No, only the M is capital.
Yeah. MHF
0313. 13.
Yeah.
Okay, look at my computer quickly. I'm gonna look at my phone in a second, right? Because I know I sent it to you before when I realized what it was. I think I sent it.
Oh, wow.
Mohammed5msn.com, right?
Uh-huh.
The username. That's what I have on my.
That's what you have, and it's not going through?
Yeah.
All right, look at, let's make this short. Look at the computer, see how many dots. Then I will know. Maybe it has like one of those exclamation or question mark or something like that. I don't know if it ever asked you for that. But if you go into the login, let's see how many dots. want to log out. So
the problem is when I log out, we're gonna not be streaming that whole time.
just 10 minutes. You know, I mean, the streaming is still going to be going on, right?
No, the streaming would not go.
Oh, if you log out?
If we log out on the computer, it's not going
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna try with an exclamation point.
Try book for them. Alright. Try. What time you have? What time you have there?
11:32.
11:32? Yeah, this one's almost over anyway.
And F 0313.
Whoa.
1964. Anything else but an exclamation point?
Sometimes I use question mark.
We got it.
Is the question mark?
There's the question mark. God damn.
Good, you have room. You got a ball, ref. That's in. Lead. Jackson, come on.
All right, Christian, almost. I'll let you know when to. All right, give me a test.
Check 1 2.
Whenever you would like to go, you can just start us off. I know it's a little weird, but hey,
No.
better late than never.
Listen, I'm here. I love it.
Yo, pass it harder than that. Rum can.
Yes, you can unplug mine since I don't use mine anymore. If you connect to my Wi-Fi.
Great hello here at Milford Mill Academy. Glad to have you with us here on 11 Sports. I'm Christian Taylor. MSSL Division II semifinals. Hearts of Steel and ACFC. That's Arundel County FC. At the moment, Hearts of Steel on the attack. They look forward. Shouts for penalty. Nothing doing. And ACFC will look to go the other way. So ACFC, they are in the blue, moving from left to right. Hearts of Steel right to left, wearing the yellow jerseys with a little bit of black and red on the fronts with red shorts, red socks. And they lead right now 1-0. And that is thanks to a goal in about the 20th minute by Matthew Gaklo, who, tell you what, folks, is just brilliant when it comes to scoring. One of the best scorers this season with 21 goals on the campaign, and already he's got one today. Meanwhile, ACFC looking to respond, and a brilliant save by the keeper. They'll try and go again, and it's skied over top them. Believe it or not, a goal differential of 0 exactly. They scored 15, they allowed 15, which is one of the lower scoring teams really in this division this season. But you know, you find a way, you just pull out results, and that's exactly what this team has done. Meanwhile, for Hearts of Steel, sitting in that 3 spot, we mentioned just 1 point off, 16 points. 5 wins as well, but 4 losses and 1 draw. That's where the discrepancy comes, where they have scored 31 goals this season. 21 have been allowed, a +4 goal differential. This is game 1 of 2 today for this Division 2. Coming up a little bit later at 1 o'clock, One Nation, who are the leading team with their 22 points, against Goodnow FC at 15, are the ones who snuck in there with the 2 basement teams as Union FC and Elite Vision FC. Elite Vision dead last with just 6 points, and Union 5th with a -11 goal differential, 11 points on the season. Glad to have you with us here today. ACFC look to boot one forward, and Hearts of Steel will try to gather the possession. Now, possession up to this point, in case you're just tuning in, both teams have enjoyed a few spells. In fact, it seems like really in this game, ACFC have had maybe the clearer-cut chances, but Hearts of Steel are the ones who have scored first and the ones who have taken advantage of their chances. Now, there was one chance a little bit earlier with Augustine Diaz. He was actually wide open down that right flank, and the turf monster got him, so it tripped him up. But then just a little bit later, he had one that was fizzled just over the crossbar, and then really about 2 minutes ago, Keon Pacheco, who skied one over top. Substitution coming for Hearts of Steel is second substitution of the game. Referee allows things to continue, and it's just a simple goal kick after all of that. A couple changes coming up here for both of these two sides. Looks like Rafael Garcia about to enter for ACFC. Raymond Sarfi about to come on for Hearts of Steel as well. Hearts of Steel looking to gather a little bit of possession here. Manuel Yansum is the most recent substitute for Hearts of Steel. They recognize that name. The captain of this team was extremely integral in that amazing Steel Pulse run last season. Try to trip through the defense here. Oriaki the intended target. And out it goes. ACFC now looking to counter just a little bit here. This is Joel Estrada Avila, who just kept the ball enough, and now it is Diaz down the right flank. And he's just lost his balance. Very quick on the ball. Deep from Kevin Duque. Just got it in here at the edge of the penalty area. Hearts of Steel taking one over. Try to roll one out wide, but it's right to Lawan Usman. Trying to get one back for ACFC, but not for long. Hearts of Steel, you know, they got some good swarming defense, and they just cleared out of there, and they've looked for the strong saves from their keeper. Made a couple of divers wearing the fascinating no-sleeve goalie jersey. or he's either rolled it up. Either way, he's been good so far this early morning. A touch coming here. ACFC just trying to string a few passes together. A brief set forward, but it rolls out of play. 1-0, Hearts of Steel leading. These teams just trying to get to halftime. There were water breaks in the cards today, and they did get one, of course, offsides. Gaklo, the goal scorer, just a little too eager there. But obviously, with how warm it is today, the water breaks have to be put in there. So this is this one today, this first game at 11. We mentioned that Goodnow, along with One Nation, will be playing at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But a little bit later today, we do get the First Division, All-Stars United against 4188. Coming up at 3, and then, of course, Christos FC and Steel Pulse, a very big rivalry in this league, as the nightcap at 5 o'clock. If you can call it a nightcap. I mean, the sun will still be out and hurting the eyes, but will be a good one. Danny Tao will be joining yours truly for that one. Gaklo out of play. All of a sudden, he's making a run inside, headed down. Not a bad look again. And with that last touch, we reach halftime here at Milford Mill with a fascinating opening half between these two sides, but through the first 45 minutes, Division II semifinals, but it is a question of what will the latter two games do in the First Division. That is the question. But right now, Hearts of Steel leading 1-0. It was a goal scored about the 20th minute by Matthew Gaklo. He had brought it down the left side and just poked it past the keeper. And that is where things stand right now. And it seemed like ACFC have had a better bit of the looks, to say the least, but still just have not punched one in. Mentioned, I mean, their goal scoring record is the lowest of all the semifinal teams playing today. Just scored 15 on the season. That's literally half. That is less than half of what Hearts of Steel have scored this year. So they will need to find a way. Down this right side, looking for the curler. And maybe the goalkeeper won. So it's not even a year old yet. That's a democratically run club-owned team and league which offers the most competitive non-professional soccer in the DMV in spring and fall season. So, you know, unlike some of the other leagues, you know, like USL League 2 and the NPSL and, you know, back in the PDL days and you name it. This is basically year-round. Brings it to his left foot, couldn't sneak one through, and ACFC will very happily take this one back. So it definitely adds another dynamic, and it keeps some of these guys actually fairly active. Now, obviously, in the fall season, I know some of these teams in the summer, they'll have like maybe a collegiate player or two join the squad, but especially in the fall, no current guys truly able to. But it definitely sets up a fascinating aspect, and you better believe for all the amateur or semi-pro leagues really in the nation, this is hands down one of the most competitive. That's the reason why this Division II was able to split off. Of course, legendary team as well, but get just a bunch of these teams, DMV Rangers, to say another All-Stars United as well, you know, who have been fantastic this year. I mean, the list definitely goes on, and it's a different split off from the Maryland Majors, of course, too, that are a long-lasting league, or at least a league that, you know, the likes of Christos and perhaps Steel Pulse were a part of for a while, but brand new Maryland Super Soccer League that can bring out some of the best. lofted forward, a good header away. And here on this near side, before you're nothing to look past, that's for sure. So Mssl, he does get back on. He doesn't look 100% though. He's trying to pick up that pace again, but just cuts off the ball in front of Pacheco. And it's out of play, and cue Joseph Lane to sprint down this left side to try and throw this in. One Nation and good now coming up after this one. Really not too long after. Game time slated for about 1 o'clock p.m. and we'll most likely just kind of get that off and rolling. No really extra things needing to go on for pregame. These are just pretty standard games. You bring out the officials, you bring out the teams, the players, play the anthem, and that's about it. Allows these players to focus on. Very quick rollout here, and pace here to the second half. You see these two teams just trying to figure out a couple more things. The Hearts of Steel, right now, this 1-0 margin is enough for them to move through, and it's, again, against a team who does not score very often. So they're basically kind of pressuring them, forcing them to make Acfc off the board. Coached by Michael Muhammad, Acfc. Looking to switch fields here. It's a lovely ball play. Gaklo tries to swing one to his right foot here, and a lovely intervention being made. Usman, a little bit of a challenge there to send down Gaklo. Usman, he played at JA Raiders FC before now playing with Acfc. He's had a couple of touches on that right defensive side. And Hearts of Steel with an opportunity on a set piece. A decent position here. Paul Mssl, who just went down, take this here. Looking for the back post and headed away by Joseph Lane. Throw-in coming in a deep position. Lane cuts it off. Should be out for a corner kick. It is. There, but works extremely hard. And the outswinger will find another yellow shirt in there. A little bit of a liner here. Was touched first by Acfc. A little poke over the head. Headed over again, this time by Sarfi. Leaks out again. Oriaki crosses in another, and it's easy in the end for Williams. Williams sending one up, looking for Augustine Diaz to try and make run, and it deflects off of him. Hearts of Steel bench loves it. It was Ruben Asare who knew he just needed to touch the ball, or at least get it out of the dangerous vicinity of Augustine Diaz, who has fantastic pace, and did just enough. Jermaine Nunez lost out. Now, how about the work here by Sarfi on this right side? And here he is with the ball again. Sarfi lost out. Diaz with a little bit of a touch. That was a violent challenge made by Asare, but play continues here. Came in extremely hard. This is Garcia, who came on in the first half thanks to a substitute. Nunez, one of the tallest guys out there. He gave away that ball, and Hearts of Steel with only 3 players in numbers. Going forward again, Kalijah Morgan, who came out a little bit earlier. Oh, it might look to him, and just misses the open netter. Goal kick, and he's still. And it looks like the man to enter is Matthew Owusu. There's the captain, and Yatsum right across the middle. Wow, what a player he is. Switches it to the right side. Has fantastic vision, doesn't he? Acfc, they defend that well. Back to their captain now in Pacheco, and a trip up which allows play to continue as Diaz stayed right on it. He just got the best of Hearts of Steel's Asare, and how about the keeper coming out, Appler, just to make sure a touch wasn't applied by Usman, who all of a sudden found himself in a good attacking area. Now he's down. Fairly windy day today, too. By the way, earlier in this game, Jordan Robert Finn, he started it, but for Hearts of Steel, but he went down. It kind of seemed like with some sort of ankle injury. Doesn't look like he's able to put too much pressure on it, so looks like his day may be done. Had a few moments in the first 45, but he hasn't done too much. Just a little bit after that, and certainly hasn't moved much since he's been here on the bench with that ankle injury. Here's Kaklo, the goal scorer. Right now, it's only his goal separating the two sides. You'd have to think Hearts of Steel certainly pleased with how this one might be going down today. Still plenty of time, though. About 30 minutes to try and change something, and they just need one. Acfc. Moving backwards away from the action, it was Nunez. And uses his tall frame to head one down. Here it comes again, important interception by Asare. He's able to read those extremely well. Pacheco lost out again. It just seems like an Acfc are beginning to get a couple of touches put together. They lose it thanks to the back line for the men in yellow. Andrew Rulo on the throw-in. Garcia had a touch. Diaz did as well. Seeing eye ball there, that is picked up by Faisal, or beg your pardon, Owusu, who's just come on. And he continues his run to that back line. Gaklo go again. Was searching for a splitting of the defenders there. Cunningham. Switching fields again here, Hearts of Steel beginning to knock on the door again. This is Oriaki. It's fascinating because the build-up play for these two teams hasn't been that bad either. Just once they try to... A searcher up ahead, and Diaz couldn't connect with it. It was Asare who turned it around. Throw-in coming for Acfc. Is Rafael Garcia. Still 1-0. Plenty of time, but it's in the back of their minds, though, Acfc, that they still need to get one back. And the defense, at least in this second half for Hearts of Steel, have made relatively easier work. Pacheco. Saw a run being made once again. Asare, so good back there. It's a little bit worried him, and Olaful with a couple of injury scares a little bit earlier in this game, but both standing strong as the center backs for Hearts of Steel. Through ball for Gaklo. Right on it again. Looks like he just about saved it before going out of play. Lovely step inside, and that shot well high. Very eager. And really, it's fascinating because, you know, Steel Pulse, they've had so much success, but Hearts of Steel, they've been able to take a little bit from that success and compose themselves of players from Steel Pulse team, former Steel Pulse players. Moses Asidu, he is one of those guys, and here's a mess up here from Appler. And an opportunity coming for Acfc, but it's steered away. Hearts of Steel do it again. Acfc beginning their charge. Second half. This Hearts of Steel team, they actually participated for the first time back in the Maryland State Cups. Morton Cup finalists back in, well, actually earlier this season here in 2022. Not very close, leaks behind. But for Hearts of Steel, it's their first season here in this MSSL string of games, and all of a sudden you're competing and in the playoff picture, and you set yourself up for success. It's exactly what they've done here, and they're trying to continue their hot streak. Throw-in coming. Acfc, by the way, folks, had actually won the first matchup 2-1 earlier this season after Hearts of Steel, or that was before Hearts of Steel were able to pick up a draw last week. So really Acfc have gotten more points off of Hearts of Steel this season off sides. So third time perhaps a charm for Hearts of Steel, is right now they do lead 1-0. So trying to see this one out, and we're closing in on just about 20 minutes to go, just like that. We were just talking about 30 minutes, but about 6 or 7 have dripped off the clock here, and it's in the hands of the men in yellow and red here. Cross coming. It's a header that doesn't completely steer clear of the penalty area. A lovely cutback being made, and a clear out in time. Diaz once again involved, but he's on the left side this time. And the poke, but different from that first half. Chance coming, and just a missed overhead kick by the defender. Sorry. He was very lucky that there was no blue shirt standing right behind him. Pacheco gets it in with not too much pressure. Look at this here. Chasing up to this one is Lane, and can't do it. Just cannot keep it in. Play resumes here for the second half with Hearts of Steel leading 1-0. So we have played a little over 70 minutes here. After that second water break, let's see if this inspires a few of these players. Right now the lone goal, Matthew Gaklo scoring in the 20th minute. Just about the 20th minute. That's the only difference between these two teams. And Acfc, at least in the first half, it seemed like they had a few chances, to say the least, but nothing really came from them except for a good save from Justin Appler. And really in the second half, only one look where Appler was a little jumpy there between two 18s, so he had to try and make a huge intervention, and Hearts of Steel was still able to keep the doors closed. Dangerous challenge being made, but advantage being played. And that stops there, much to the chagrin. Back to it. Long throw coming. Reaches just the edge of the penalty area. Lane looking to claim this again. He took the shot instead and needed to get out of the way. It was his teammate in Christopher Carr, who just came on not too long ago. There's the big man and Tristan Simon back there. Huge body he is. That is a guy you do not want to play against. Offsides. So even had he picked up the ball, nothing much would have come from it, and a little trip up that favors Arundel County. Next up, Good Now FC and One Nation. The 1v4. And play the winner of this game. Just a few weeks' time from now. So off for Hearts of Steel, Abdulrauf Salahuddin. I beg your pardon, he trots on now at the moment. And there's a couple of players making way for Hearts of Steel. Headed down. Good clearance for the moment. One of those players out, Matthew Owusu. And made a couple of runs there on that center back position. Cross, nothing doing. Goodness me. Now beginning to dwindle. Hearts of Steel hit with a couple of attacks, but doesn't really seem like they're trying to push the envelope too much because they have been very clinical back there. Good push down the left here and a dive out by Williams. Stephen Adoru had that pace again down the left side, and up it goes again towards midfield. Not taking any chances as Salahuddin heads it out. And a little bit of frustration from Ruben Asare as he was able to do so. Joseph Lane on the throw as he usually does here. Nunez trying to slip one in for Diaz. Once again, just cannot get it. He's been one of the main outlet men today for ACFC, and this could be the chance. The push from Oriaki down this right flank, deciding which foot he wants to try and shoot with. He tries his right, and after the very quick dribbler, the keeper smothers it again. Ryan Williams needed to be called upon here, and he's made these touches count. Salahuddin. This is Cunningham. Oh, Cunningham losing his balance as he was... What a moment. First season in the MSSL. This is Mssl, one of the center backs. You see what he was trying to do. There was a run being made inside the box. Couldn't connect. Diaz. It was an okay first touch, but Asare for Hearts of Steel, he's on it. And it is Joel Oriaki off. Garcia. Oh, Garcia. Seemed like he had it for a moment. Lovely touch by Nunez. Just when they look to push to the back line, and actually this could be the chance here, but Diaz is offsides. Jermaine Nunez almost trying to single-handedly get his team the possession. And he's making some of the smart moves, smart passes here. Hearts of Steel knowing they're close. 10 minutes to go. Still 1-0. That's how it's been. Not too many moments in this second half, really, for either team so far. Obviously, that first half is when the two teams were with a little bit fuller energy, and they took advantage of it, providing some fantastic chances. Here comes another opportunity. Oh, that's off the crossbar. Seemed like that was going to sail well high, but it dipped a little bit. And Williams wasn't suspecting it, so the crossbar saving ACFC for perhaps exiting from the postseason. Nunez, who else to take it? Diaz again, they've been the main connectors so far. Diaz tried to get back to his feet, actually didn't go all the way down, but enough of a challenge to steer him away. And perhaps some time for Justin Appler to take on his own into the bright blue sky and getting in the way of few of the players trying to welcome it back in. Right as Kalijah Morgan travels out of play with this. A throw-in awarded to ACFC. They need some inspiration now. Lane. This is Cunningham for Hearts of Steel. Once again, you see the intention, but there's been very well-read defensive plays, really, by both sides. Actually, it hasn't been brutal from ACFC either, even though they do trail 1-0. The defense has stepped up to some of these balls and have been able to cut off chance after chance from Hearts of Steel. It's just the one look coming from Gaklo that has been the difference. And who else? The man who is just so brilliant in scoring. Seems to be all he does. Fascinating couple of touches there from Kalijah Morgan. He brought one out of the air, but kept the juggle going. Nifty footwork. And now it's a game of possession. How do you tire out the opponents? How do you keep them off the ball? It's you play offense yourself. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Glad to have you with us here on 11 Sports. Christian Taylor here with you. First semifinal today. Lost itself over the head of 2K on that right side. Another stoppage in play here. But he will take a throw. I might try to keep it in the corner here for a little bit. Knowing that just the one goal might be enough. But knowing a second would certainly seal it. Oh, a push there. Diaz received it. And Hearts of Steel will need to back off here. They're preventing ACFC from starting this up again. Nunez tracking it in to the captain in Pacheco. Ball just almost stays in play. Paul Affel coming all the way across. Pacheco staying down. The captain, Ryan Williams, the keeper for ACFC, is actually worked to about the 30-yard line here. Maybe just to add an extra spark if they're wanting to push him forward. There was the chance. There was a header from Lane, and he'll be thinking about that one. Of course, maybe another added minute or two, but really nothing has stopped this game. Maybe an injury to Kalijah Morgan for a moment, so you'd have to imagine one or two, but that's maybe it. And now it's all about what type of touches can you make. Can you prevent yourself from making a mistake? Salahuddin will throw it in. Never seen that before. A guy who's looking to throw it in but just lets it go right as he's in the position. Foul from Estrada. Snuck that one in, trying to catch the defense off guard. They still got it here on this right side. Morgan trying again, crossing one in. Gaklo again, shooting! Save Williams. Corner kick. Wow, he is directing a little bit of traffic though, so the outswinger will probably just send it into the box now, chasing in. It is Yamsum over the head here. Frimpong pretty close. There's a good touch by Pacheco for ACFC. Christopher Carr battling, wins it. About 2 minutes remaining before we reach the full 90 here. Milford Mill Academy, Windsor Mill, Maryland. Division II semifinal. Still coming up, One Nation and good now. Aduro looking for the good touch here. Save again by Williams. He's kept his team in the game this entire afternoon. He's trying to fire up his team. They need something going the other way. It's a product that really hasn't been there at all in this second half. Still Hearts of Steel with more of the offense, and they're leading. Aduro cuts inside again, has a good bit of space. Lovely ball, shooting, and just misses. An opportunity coming, and there is the goal. It went all the way through the goal there. Seemed like he missed it, but in the end, it is the clincher for Hearts of Steel, and it will end this season for ACFC. And they continue to stay with the ball here. Hearts of Steel. We have reached the full 90. It's just a matter of how long they're trying to extend this here. Oh, what a run here from Hearts of Steel, who have been just brilliant here after starting this season relatively slow, have been in a fantastic way. They're good now, or One Nation, which will be up after this here at about 1 o'clock. Garcia. Diaz has been one of the lone moments of offense really in this game for ACFC, and their inability to really score has haunted them again this year. Again, they've only scored half of the goals that Steel or Hearts of Steel have even found this season. But ACFC, they don't allow many. They allow a 2-spot in this game. Oh, Williams. I could almost even mention perhaps player of the game today besides Gaklo, at least for ACFC, because Williams has had to leap out of his shoes just to keep his team in blue nearby and at least in the conversation. There's Justin Appler, who most likely will get this clean sheet today in a very, very important game, and made some divers early in the first 45. Pacheco shooting one again. Appler will stay down on the ground, waste a few more seconds of precious time. And now it's just testing the keeper from distance. Doesn't really ever seem like ACFC had the numbers forward like Hearts of Steel have had, at least in their couple of goals. We've played just about 2 added minutes. The referee looks at his watch here. And there it is. There's the full-time whistle. And Hearts of Steel advance to the championship game. Couple goals from Matthew Gaklo, one in about the 20th minute in the first half. And then the sealer there at the death of the game in about the 88th minute. ACFC really with only a couple of shots in this game. Couldn't get much from them. Hearts of Steel seem like the better team today, and they come out with the victory. They'll play the winner of the game coming up next. Good Now and One Nation should be another fantastic outing. But for all of us here, for game number 1 here at Milford Mill, it is Hearts of Steel 2, Arundel County FC 0. We'll see you in about 15 minutes or so.